swatted away.
What is going on, Hawks Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Hawks Fan TV. I'm your host, AC, and last night our Atlanta Hawks defeated the Miami Heat 94-90 in Game 4 of Summer League action, and Jalen Johnson and Skylar Maze showed up and showed out, carrying this team to victory. Now, before we get into the game, the big storyline prior to tip-off was the Sharif Cooper news. About 30 to 40 minutes before game time, we did get word that Sharif Cooper was going to be unavailable for today's game, or yesterday's game, due to health and safety protocols. That was a bit strange for me because he didn't look like anything happened to him against the 76ers the previous game. Maybe it was due to COVID protocols, but that was really weird considering that he was still on the bench sitting next to his teammates the entirety of the game. So not sure if it was COVID related. Some people online were speculating that maybe it was due to load management, which is a really odd thing to say in Summer League because these players are so young. We haven't played any back-to-back games, and with him missing so much time last year at Auburn, you would think the coaches and staff would want to get him as much reps as possible, as much game time minutes, and get him NBA ready. So not sure what is going on there. That was really a head-scratcher for me, but hopefully it's nothing too serious, and hopefully he's ready for the fifth and final game tomorrow night. So prayers up to Sharif. Hopefully he's all good and ready to go. But going into the game, 94-90 victory of our Atlanta Hawks against the Miami Heat. The two big stars of the game were, of course, Jalen Johnson per usual, and then Skylar Maze had an amazing game as well. Now we're going to dive into the highlights here in just a second, but let's just look at the box score really quickly and see what these two players were able to do. And full disclaimer, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to be talking about any other player on this roster aside from those two players I just named, simply because none of these other players that we've seen in Summer League on the Hawks are going to be on the actual team 15-man roster going into the season, so there's no point of wasting time on there. So let's focus in on our boys, Skylar Maze and Jalen Johnson. We'll go ahead and start with Skylar. Last night played a great game, 26 points, 9 assists, 10 of 10 from the free throw line. That is incredible. That's a very Trae Young-esque performance. He was just attacking the basket at will, had a few nice and one opportunities as well, and just was able to get to the rim and just attack the basket constantly. He did also hit 2 threes last night as well, and just all around played a really nice game. And for all you people speculating on whether or not Skylar Maze was going to be able to cut and make the roster, I think he certainly proved himself in Summer League so far that he does deserve that two-way contract. So I think he's going to take the second spot because, as everyone knows, every NBA team has 2 roster spots available designated for two-way players. Of course, the first one being Sharif Cooper, and I'm pretty sure the Hawks are going to retain Skylar Maze and make him our second and final two-way player. But all in all, he played very well. And I want to show you guys something really funny before we get into it and before I forget. This is what Trae Young had to tweet about Skylar Maze after the game. He said, "Sky tough, man. Good shit today. Killa at Skylar Maze 4. Hope you all right." Now, if you guys didn't watch the game live last night, Trae is referencing the beating that Skylar Maze took all night. This man was just getting destroyed out there on the court. Definitely had the atmosphere of a playoff intensity game with all the fouls and just the energy level being at an all-time high. But Skylar Maze, he took a beating. It started in the first half when he had an elbow straight to the face in the first half by Omar Yustuvin, a 7-foot center on the Miami Heat. So I don't know about you guys, but I certainly wouldn't enjoy a 7-foot man throwing his elbow straight into my jaw, cheekbone area. But that's what happened. They actually called a flagrant one on Omar. So we got free throws out of that. But yeah, Skylar Maze took a nice elbow to the face in the first half. Then in the second half, late in the fourth quarter, basically with a minute left to go, he got fouled on an inbound play. He fell and slipped on the court, landed really awkwardly, and basically hit his entire jaw on the hardwood. At first, I thought he maybe dislocated his jaw, maybe he sunk his teeth into his tongue, maybe like bit his tongue off. Like, he landed super hard, his like head bounced off the court, and it looked way worse than it really was. But you know, he left the game was looked out on the sideline and then came back a play later. So hopefully he's all right. Skylar Maze is a tough guy, so I'm not worrying too much about that. But man, hats off to you, Skylar. You played a great game, and your body took a beating in the process. But Skylar Maze definitely deserves a two-way contract, and I think he's going to be that second two-way player on this team. Now, moving on to Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson, like, what more can we say about this guy? Like, he has played such a fantastic summer league. I tweeted this yesterday. So far in summer league, through 4 games, he's averaged 19 points per game, 9.5 rebounds per game, on 56% shooting, 41% from the 3, and shooting at an 81% clip from the free throw line. Those are very good numbers. I don't remember the last time one of our draft picks during summer league was balling out this hard. But Jalen Johnson last night, with Sharif Cooper unavailable, he ended the game with 25 points, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and 50% from the 3. He hit the most threes he's had up until this point, summer league, nailing 3 of those, and he's proven himself to be a very, very viable, reliable spot-up jump shooter if you leave him open behind the arc. So I know that was a big question mark going into the season, or coming out of the draft, was, is he able to knock down his open threes? Obviously, he hit him at a high clip in college, but again, he only took 14 threes in his entire freshman season, so it wasn't like it was a huge sample size. But we're slowly but surely seeing that he can develop and hit that three-point shot when called upon. So kudos to him. He also had a team high plus 11 and plus minus. So for anyone that doesn't know what that means, basically this is factoring in, for all the time that you're on the court, how well does your team perform? Does your team score more than the opponent, or does the opponent score more than you? And basically with Jalen Johnson and all of his 29 minutes being on the court, the Atlanta Hawks outscored the Miami Heat by 11 points. That was the point differentiator. So yeah, Jalen Johnson balled out last night, and I've been watching highlights of him nonstop. We're going to get into some highlights here in just a second, but man, Jalen Johnson has just been blown all my expectations out of the water since game 1 of summer league. He looks every bit as good as advertised, just doing a little bit of everything, scoring, rebounding, facilitating, and he's just a special player. And Coach McMillan is going to need to find some ways to crack him into the rotation heading into the regular season. So we'll go ahead and dive into some of the highlights here. But yeah, let's just watch 2 minutes of Jalen Johnson, basically starting off the game as we saw in the beginning of the video here, with that massive block. He jumped so high that it honestly looked like a goaltend, but the refs didn't call it. He must have jumped like 40 inches in the air. Then he starts us off with a nice mid-range jumper, showing his shooting capabilities here. And you're going to see a lot of this, but one of the great things I love about Jalen Johnson's game is his ability to run the floor. Like, every time we get a rebound, every time we get out in transition, this man just runs the court at will, and he finds himself with a lot of cherry picking baskets, which is great. My favorite points are fast break, easy buckets. Those are gimmies. Here we go again. He gets the turnover, and I just want to pause it right here. Like, that play looks easy, but I can assure you folks that in real time, live action, like finishing that alley-oop with your left hand, his off hand, that's impressive. That's tough, and Jalen Johnson makes it look easy out there. Not the best of passes from Skyler Maze, a little bit behind him, but Jalen Johnson is athletic enough to finish that. And yeah, it was just all around great finish. Again, out in transition, just attacks the basket. Not sure what Akun Purcell was doing, but he gets the nice little alley-oop with the friendly roll from Jalen. Again, like, he gets out on the run behind the defenders and finishes it. Like, I love this about Jalen Johnson's game. Like, that's my favorite thing about him, is just his ability to run the court. And especially when you pair that up with the starters, when you have players like Trae Young, who's gonna find you. I mean, Jalen Johnson can score 6 to 8 points a night just by getting out on the fast break. Here we see a nice little 3-ball, again, wide open on the elbow there. Drains it, nothing but net. That was his second 3 of the game. Here he has the ball. He's initiating the offense from the 3-point line, drives it all the way to the basket, draws in 2 defenders, and then has the presence of mind to just draw in the 2 defenders and then find the open man with the nice easy layup. So like his playmaking ability is something that I think is going to be fantastic for this team. Like, he was dubbed as a point forward going into the draft, and we've seen flashes of that there again in the corner three. Drains it for his third and final three of the game. But this man is, he's special. Like, I love the way he plays. He can do it all, and yeah, I think he has a very, very bright future on this team. You know, I'm going to make a video of this in the future, but maybe depending on how he progresses throughout the first half of the season, that might make a player like Danilo Gallinari quite expendable. And, you know, obviously, as we know, we all love Gallo, but he is not a long-term piece for this future, and his trade value might be the highest going into the deadline this coming season. And if Jalen Johnson is able to produce and just ball out, then you know, he could definitely take the full-time backup position behind John Collins. And in a lot of cases, with Onyeka Okongwu being out until January, February timeframe, I won't be surprised if we see some lineups of JC at the 5 and Jalen Johnson at the 4. So, you know, that's something I'm very excited about, like a lineup of like Trae Young, Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Jalen Johnson, and JC. That's a very athletic, fun lineup that could pose a lot of problems for, you know, opposing defenses. So I'm super excited, but all in all, I've been so impressed with Jalen Johnson's play. This dude is a 5-star blue chip prospect, and I don't remember the last time a player like this did this well in his rookie summer league debut, like from our draft picks, right? Obviously, we had some struggles with Cam Reddish, DeAndre Hunter, Trae Young, players like that, but Jalen Johnson out the gate is just balling out. Now, I know summer league is no true indication of how good a player is going to be, because we've seen time and time again a player do really well in summer league and then just turns out to be a bust, or players that do really poorly in summer league like Trae Young that end up being stars. So you can't really use the summer league as a benchmark for how good a player is going to have as his NBA career, but I like what I'm seeing so far. Like, honestly, it should be a criminal offense that Jalen Johnson slipped to us all the way at number 20. All the GMs should be kicking and punching themselves for passing up on this kid. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is, if your name isn't Cade Cunningham or Jalen Green, I'm not sure there's a prospect that I would have taken next before Jalen Johnson. Like, those two players, that's reasonable, right? That's justifiable as taking those two players. But Jalen Johnson seems like every bit as a top 5 prospect than anyone else in this draft. Like, he, you know, if the Hawks had a few more wins, this guy could be Summer League MVP, honestly. Of course, we've had some unfortunate outcomes in the fourth quarter. We should have beat the Celtics in game 1. We should have beat the 76ers going into overtime, but we lost. So I don't think Jalen Johnson is going to get that MVP trophy, but he's played basically as good as any rookie so far in Summer League. But man, I'm excited. I'm excited. We got Game 5 coming up tomorrow night, so tune in for that video. But that's going to be it for today's episode. Hawks fans, get excited about this kid. And Sharif Cooper, we haven't forgot about you. You just happened to miss this last game, but I expect big things from you in your final performance. But the future is bright for this team. We just keep stacking and stacking young talent year after year. And as long as Travis Schlenk is our GM, we're going to be in good hands. So if you like today's episode, if you love the Hawks as much as we do, please hit that thumbs up button. This would help the channel and the video out a ton. Hit the subscribe button. We do videos like this every single game. We'll be covering Summer League, the preseason, and then of course the regular season, doing live streams and call-in episodes from fans all around the world after every single game. So if you want to be a part of the show, if you want to join the family, please hit that subscribe button down below. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Go Hawks, and you know, tune into the next video. Thanks, guys.